Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my brand new trigger stoppers that I added to my controller and how game changing they can be, especially for fast editing. I know me making videos on doubling your edit speed is like a meme now, but this 100% doubled my edit speed and only after one day. But this video is definitely not what you're expecting, and it's also pretty dangerous to do it to your controller, but we'll get into that in just a second. If you guys could drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, that'd be much appreciated, and use code Flea in the item shop if you would like to support me further. Anyway, I'm just going to show you some gameplay I got last night using the trigger stoppers. Then I'm going to show you how you can make your own for less than $5. So let's get right into it. Alright, there were a few quick clips I got last night, nothing special there. I wasn't completely used to them on the first day, but let's get into how I did it. So first, let me start off by showing you the trigger stoppers. As you guys know, this is my controller. Flip the camera. Alright, that's better. By the way, I'll be making a video on the grips that I use soon, but if I just flip my controller over so you can see the triggers, as you can see right there, if it focuses, yep, there are my trigger stoppers. So homemade trigger stoppers on my triggers, and they work perfectly. So pushing them in right there, and they don't go in all the way, they stop where they should. So they are the trigger stoppers on my controller. I'll tell you right now, it wasn't easy, but wow, is it worth it. My standard PS4 controller has never felt better with these homemade trigger stoppers. Although I did put these in yesterday, I've actually used them before. This is a very old controller I used to use a couple of years ago, and you can see on the right trigger, I've done the exact same thing. So there we have, it's finally focused. So yeah, I've done it to the right trigger on this one as well. So if I show you what it looks like different, so left trigger goes all the way down like that, and right trigger stops there. So it stops right where I put that in there. I put this trigger stopper in this controller back in about probably season 4 of Fortnite, and when this controller broke, I ended up buying a new controller, and I never ended up putting trigger stoppers in it, but I actually forgot how good trigger stoppers feel until I put these in yesterday. I'm telling you right now, every single controller I buy from now on, I'm going to be doing this. And before I show you how I did it, let me just tell you why I did it in the first place. Alright, so I currently have opened my gamepad tester as well as I'm on Fortnite. Fortnite. And what this basically does is it just tells me which buttons I'm pressing. As you can see, if I just start pressing random buttons on the controller, so random buttons will start showing up on the gamepad tester. But now if I show you L2 and R2, now these are actually charge up buttons. And what that basically means is that it's a number that slowly increases the more you push down on the trigger. The reason the Xbox and the PS4 controllers have this is for games that involve vehicles. Obviously, the more you push in R2, the faster your vehicle gets. And also because the trigger kind of feels like a gun when you're pushing it in. But in Fortnite, we don't really want that. We just want to be able to press the buttons as fast as possible. After all the years Fortnite's been out, it's gotten to the point where the faster you can do things, the better. And obviously, everyone wants to be a faster editor. That's why you clicked on this video in the first place. But anyway, if I show you right now, as you can see, L2 comes under B6. So if I push in B6, as you can see, it's on 1.0. But if I slowly let go of L2, the number will slowly decrease. So it's not just an instant number, like if I just press L1, it's instantly 0 or 1, so it's either on or off. But with these trigger buttons, they slowly increase, and as they slowly increase, the number gets larger. But you don't need that charge up button in Fortnite, you just want to be able to press it. And the L2 and R2 triggers actually have a dead zone of 0.10. So if I zoom that in a bit more, as you can clearly see, the number now charges up, so it goes all the way from 0 to 1. If I show you with R2, I'll slowly press in R2, which is B7, and it activates at 0.10. So I've got my controller, I'm slowly pressing that button in on B7, and as soon as it goes above 10, as you can see, it hits. Under 10, I'm sitting at 9, doesn't do anything. As soon as I go above 10 or 11, it starts actually activating. So if the button activates at a dead zone of 0.10, why do you need to press it in all the way? Which is why I put trigger stoppers on my controller, which actually stop it at, so this one stops it at 50, so I'm only pushing in half the distance. If I'm pushing the button in at half the distance, it means I can push it in twice as fast. I've also done the same to my L2, so L2 sits at around 50, and this one, they both sit around 50, so I've pretty much cut the button press distance in half. It's the same reason SCUF controllers have trigger stoppers. It's just so you can press the button in faster. But if you don't want to pay $300 for a controller, I can show you how I did mine. And first off, please do not do this without a parent, alright? Super glue is not a toy. All it takes is a bit of glue on your fingers and you can super glue your fingers together, as well as if you have a bit of super glue on your finger and rub your eye, you can literally go blind in your eye, so this is no joke. I do not condone doing this, so please just don't do it unless you're as dumb as me. But it also helps if you have an old controller lying around. I think I got 3 lying around, so you can test it first on that. It's also really easy to ruin your controller. I almost glued my triggers down, which would have messed up my whole controller, and I would have had to have gone and bought a new one. But anyway, basically what I did was I went out and bought a bit of super glue, and I also used an old cable tie. Cut the cable tie super small, and then I added super glue to my trigger. Now what you pretty much do is you super glue cable ties, or really anything you can find. You can glue metal bolts if you like to, just anything you can glue to the trigger that will stop it from going all the way down. So as you can see, I glued just a cut off bit of cable tie there, and it stops the trigger from going in, so you actually glue it onto the trigger. You only need a small amount of super glue, but it's actually really easy to glue your trigger down shut. So while the glue is drying, actually just keep pressing your trigger to make sure it's not gluing down. This is also what it looked like on my old controller, so as you can see, it's on there pretty tight. If I push it down like this, it's perfect, nothing's wrong with it, just let the glue dry. And that's pretty much it. It took me about 3 attempts until I finally got it working. But once they're on and they're dry and you're using it, you'll fall in love and you'll never go back. I just thought I'd make a quick video on my new trigger stoppers on my controller, because I'm sure if I mention it in a video, everyone will be like, well, Flea, what do you mean about trigger stoppers? Like, well, what are they? How'd you put them on? So I kind of had to make the video regardless, but at least you guys now know how I'm going to be playing Fortnite from here on. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you are going to attempt this, just please be super careful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.